What up, though? And welcome to the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, your trusted source for Detroit Lions news and rumors. It's your man, Kurt Steele. Man, do me a quick favor. Like the video and share it with other Lions fans just like yourself. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. And a special shout out goes to the Duke crew this morning. I see you in the chat already, baby. Okay. And if you're new to the channel and you don't know how these shows work, we look at Lions news, headlines, or takes. If we agree, we say they are bossed up. If we disagree, we say they are balled on. We give our takes on why we agree or disagree. A little bit different spin on Detroit Lions news and rumors. But for the live show, it's interactive. So I want you guys, if you agree, put hashtag bossed up, in the comments. If you disagree, put hashtag balled on. Tell me why, and I'll put your comments on the screen and we will talk about it together. Time to get into the topics of the day. I'm excited. We have some fun stuff today. All right, first up, we have what was the Detroit Lions' best offseason move? Well, there's a couple candidates out there, so we're going to take a look at that. Calvin Johnson's going into the Pride of the Lions Ring of Honor this fall. And Frank Ragnow ranked the eighth best, interior offensive lineman by ESPN. So let's get into the first topic of today. Woo-wee. Let's take a look at it. All right, PFF recently released what they view as the best offseason move by each team. The article mentioned for the Detroit Lions to trade for Carlton Davis III as a possible option. Many Lions fans and media pundits covering the team think it's the signing of DJ Reader. However, Pro Football Focus chose the Lions moving up in the draft to take Terrion Arnold in the first round. The author of the article wrote, and I quote, "I love that they remained aggressive after all that and traded up for Terrion Arnold in the first round of the 2024 NFL draft. Arnold isn't just a win now piece. He can be a building block for the future." Wow. Now, I have to say, this is a boss up take for me. I think this was the best move for the Lions as well. I was begging for the Lions to draft a top-notch cornerback in this year's draft. The last time we tried it, it didn't work out well, and we haven't done it since, and that was a need for the Lions. I believe that Terrion Arnold will eventually take over the CB1 spot and be the top cornerback in the future for the Detroit Lions. He's going to be our number one guy. So give me your thoughts in the comment. Do you agree with PFF as the Terrion Arnold being the best offseason move for the Detroit Lions? Hashtag boss up if you agree. Hashtag ball on if you disagree, and tell me what you think was the best offseason move by the Detroit Lions. Now let's get into some of the comments for today, man. I love having you guys, man. We're gonna start it off with my man Frank the Tank. He says, "What up, dude? What's going on, Frank? How you doing, brother?" He says, "I believe that Carlton Davis was the biggest pickup offseason. Balled on." Okay, balled up. Okay, all right. He said, I believe Davis will have an all-pro year. Okay. Bossed up, balled on. All right. I agree for Frank. Davis is a huge addition. Balled up. Bossed up, balled on. So bossed up, hashtag bossed up is the hashtag for good. Balled on is bad. All right. What's up, bossed up, ballers? What's going on, Moonscar Blade? How you doing, brother? All right, Doug Michael Rosen says, tough to rank keeping Ben Johnson, Zeitler, setting the offensive line. Reader, Jalen Carter, best DB in the draft at 24. C. Williams, defensive line signing our big three, all and more. Okay, I feel you, brother. I feel you. Moonscar Blade says, our biggest offseason move was not blowing up the cap on the outside top free agent. You know what? That's a great take, Moonscar Blade. I like that. I like that take. All right, my man, Doug Micro said, "What up, Kurt? What up, though? What's going on, man?" Brett DeWentz in the building and said, bossed up. Yeah. Y'all get it. King SJ, my man, coming over from Lions on the Prowl, man. I appreciate you hanging out with us, man. My man Hookadoo was in the building. What's up? Good morning, my man. My man Big Dave Rant Q, man. What up, peeps, man? What up, though? What's going on, my brother? All right. Moonscar Blaze says, do we know what game they are doing the Ring of Honor? Or was it always Thanksgiving? It's coming up on the next segment, man. So you know what? Let's get into that because I have a guest coming on here in a few minutes. So let's keep the show moving. We're gonna talk about my man Big Play CJ Megatron, man, is in the building. Definitely. Let's look at what's going on with him. All right, the Detroit Lions. I'm happy to hear that Calvin Johnson will go into the Pride of the Lions Ring of Honor during the Monday Night Football game on September 30th versus the Seattle Seahawks. All right. Megatron, first ballot Hall of Famer, college football Hall of Famer, and he still holds the NFL single season NFL record for most receiving yards in the season with 1,964 yards in 2012. Okay. Now, before I get into my favorite Calvin Johnson memory, let's look at how, Mike Disner was a key factor in the reunion of Calvin Johnson and the Detroit Lions. He was not feeling Rod Wood and what they were trying to do to him, making him pay the salary, the signing bonus back. And it was just a tumultuous relationship between the Calvin Johnson and the Lions when he left the team. And I'm glad that this new regime came in and they first priority was fixing mending the fences with Calvin Johnson. And he loves being back in Detroit. You just see how he was so honored when they recognized him with that announcement yesterday at his charity golf tournament. So big ups to Calvin Johnson, Megatron. Great to see 81 back in the building for the Detroit Lions. All right. So my favorite Calvin Johnson memory was when he returned from injury against the Dolphins. And the reason being is that Brent Grimes was calling himself, I'm Optimus Grimes, and I'm going to shut down Megatron. Man, Calvin Johnson came up and grabbed that touchdown over him. Pretty much in the early part of the game, man. I thought it was a big-time boss up move from my man, Calvin Johnson, man. So let me know in the chat right now, what is your favorite Calvin Johnson memory from his time playing with the Detroit Lions, man? So let's get back into the chat, man. All right. So my man, nothing but the smoke said, what up, though? Hey, what up, though? All right. All great moves. Brad can cook for sure. He got that chef hat on, baby. All right. Calvin Johnson, we in a Monday night game. That's right. All right. Yeah, week 4. I think it's week 5, I believe. All right. Hookadoo says anything they do in the offseason is the best move. Grit. That's what I'm talking about, man. Grit. All right, C. Williams was the coach. Terrell Williams is his name. I don't know where C. Williams came in. Terrell Williams, the defensive line coach. Yeah, Terrell Williams. Okay. Eastside, what up, though, Frank the Tank? All right. Nobody Smoke says bossed up on all the Lions off-season moves, man. I think they put themselves in a position to get better this season. They address some key needs in that back end of that secondary. All right, Lions, no rings. Jim Everett, the great. Jim Everett didn't give me rings either out there at LA. Oh, okay. All right. Well deserved from Megatron King SJ. Yes, man. Appreciate it. All right. Megatron, top 5 of my Detroit Lions list. Been watching for 40 years, the Detroit Lions football. Okay. I feel you. Lions trophy room is just embarrassing. Okay, Jim Everett, what the Rams got one. You got to be an LA fan. So, you got one Super Bowl, and that was the guy that we gave you to get it. Okay. Okay. I mean, you know what, though? Hey, I have no problem with people coming in here and expressing themselves. It is what it is, man. I don't know why Jim Everett is so great, because he absolutely was not. All right. Jim Everett, the great. You are an embarrassment. Here, revolution. Okay. Man. Okay. All right. Favorite memories: Thanksgiving 2015. I was in the stand to see Calvin catch 3 touchdowns that day. That was a great game, man. He was great. All I can remember is Chicago game did not complete the catch. Unbelievable. And that was a terrible, and it kind of changed the rule, man. Yeah, that was terrible. All right. JDC, good morning. All good morning there, fella. How you doing? All right. C stand for coach. Oh, I didn't, I didn't know. I didn't know, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks, Doug. I appreciate you, man. Nothing but the smoke. Favorite Megatron memory record game against Dallas, bossed them all up. Man, he balled. He definitely balled out that game, man. So he bossed up and he balled out, man. He was the best version of Calvin Johnson that game. That was crazy. The Lions' future looks extremely. I absolutely agree, JDC. Okay, one last topic before we bring on my man Big Dan from Lions Talk Live this morning, man. Now, we gotta talk about it because it's news. All right, is it great? Nah. Is it bad? But it's news. It's news about Detroit Lions, right? All right, Frank Ragnow, the Ragster, man, big bank Frank, as I called him when he signed that big contract. He was rated eighth best offensive interior lineman by ESPN, or interior offensive lineman, as I would say. Excuse me. This is by Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. He put that list out of the best interior offensive linemen headed into 2024. All right, interior linemen include centers and guards. Okay, Frank Ragnow ranked 8th on his list this year. Now, it's better than last year where he ranked 10th going into the season. But his highest rank on this list in his career has been 8th. Now, the reason why he was ranked 8th this season by Jeremy Fowler was because he said his play declined last season. Really? Okay. Now, I'm going to give this a bald on take. Now, is it about the ranking? Absolutely not. Because I think absolutely 8 is fair for him for the season for last year. But it was about the decline in play. Now, at this point, I report rankings, like I just said. Is it great? No. Is it bad? No. But I'm not letting it affect me anymore because these rankings are by people who are paid to do it. And actually, really, to be honest with you, as a member of the digital media, sometimes people are doing, and I do write as well. We're doing it to fill time until the season starts or to camp starts. All right. So Frank Ragnow was injured a lot last season. I mean, a lot. I mean, he missed like 6 games, and we lost like 5 of those games when he was in the lineup. So, but when he was in, I still think he was a top 5 center in the NFL. I mean, I don't think his play declined when he was in there. He played one game on one leg pretty much. So what do you think, man? Hit me up in the comments, man. Put it in the chat. Hashtag boss up. You agree that he should be 8, but his play decline, or balled on? And why do you think that? I say this take is balled on as far as the his play declining last year, because when he was in, he was the man. He's always going to be Frank. All right. Get into that, boss. What up, though? Hey, man, it's my man, Aaron Latimer, man. That's my guy, man. If y'all don't know who that is, man, you better Google that fella, man. That's my guy. Thanks for showing up, my man. All right, Britt DeWitt says 8 is too low. I agree with that. 8 may be a little tad bit too low. All right, do we think he's running the offense, calling the flying play? How are they measuring that? It didn't really go into, to be Doug Michael Rosa. It didn't go into detail of why they were ranked the way they were. It just was like, just gave a little brief synopsis of like his play declined, but he's still a good player in his previous rankings and his from the past. All right, bossed up take. Okay, Frank Tank. All right, you can never go wrong with a Frank. Hey, man, yeah, I feel you. All right, Moonscar Blade says he's played more last year than the year before. Actually, you are absolutely correct, man. He did play a lot more last year. All right, nothing but the smoke said that's a fair ranking, not because of the play. Yeah, I feel you that. I think it was fair. I just think that him saying that his play decline, I don't believe that. All right, the teleprompter from Lions Talk Live works. All right. All right, boss up on the ranking of all the interior offensive linemen, balled on for the reason. That's what I said. I agree with you 100% on that. All right, the Duke crew is in the building, and the boss up family, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. So if you know that wrestling reference, man, y'all know who it is. It's the man, the myth, the legend, my man, Dan Thornton, Coach Dan from Lions Talk Live. Good morning, my guy.
How you doing?
We doing good. We doing good. So we just finished up the topics for the day, but we're gonna go back, man, and we're gonna get your opinions on these topics for today, man. So quick synopsis, man. Okay, put it on the screen. You can check them out for yourself, man. Right quick. Best offseason move for the Lions. Calvin Johnson going into that ring of honor, and the Proud of Lions, and then Frank Ragnow being ranked the 8th best interior offensive lineman by ESPN. Excuse me. So, right. All right. So here is what the best offseason moves were. Trading for Carlton Davis III. That was mentioned in the article by PFF. And then we've had a lot of people, us included, probably talked about how big the signing of DJ Reader was. And then PFF said it was trading up for Terrion Arnold. So of these three, or do you agree with PFF that it was the signing of, the trading up for Terrion Arnold was the best move? So that's the bossed up, balled on. If you agree, you bossed up, you believe that was the best move, or you say balled on, and you give me whatever your best offseason move was.
I'm going to go with balled on. I think it's DJ Reader for what he can do to that defensive front. I mean, I think, Kurt, we all get they're all great players. They're all great moves. And there's no one move that's going to make or break this team. But for me, with DJ Reader, just what he brings as far as the stability to that front four and front seven, man, there's just very few humans on planet Earth like him. The fact that we were able to get him, there are question marks. We all get it. Anybody who's a Lions fan about his health. Terrion Arnold, I think, is going to be a star. I think he's going to be real good. And we see the Lions, this coaching staff likes flexibility, guys that can play this spot, that spot. He does that. We all get in college. He initially came to Alabama as a safety, got flexed out to playing some corner, played some nickel, played outside. He plays all over the spot. You look at the Lions secondary, it seems to be more and more where they're going are basically positionless in the secondary. Because what I just said about Arnold, you could apply to Carlton Davis. He's played safety and he's played corner for Tampa Bay. You look at Rakestraw. He's played in college corner and safety. And Ife Malafano, the entire secondary for the most part can fit that bill. But to me, DJ Reader is just a rare breed. What he's going to be able to do, we get the Lions. Last year, they said they couldn't fix everything in the defense, but we're going to stop the run. He solves the mystery piece puzzle that was Isaiah Buggs and 50 other guys that will try to play opposite Aleem McNeil. So most defenses or defensive coordinators, I'm going to guess, you want to start up front, work your way back, and that seems to be what Aaron Glenn and the Lions did. They said, let's solve this front, make sure we can still stop the run while being able to improve our ability to get to the quarterback, and now we'll add more pieces that can cover a little bit better, play more traditional man-to-man coverage, which Aaron Glenn seems to enjoy and prefer, and then, fix the defense overall from there. So for me, that was the biggest move.
All right. So now we're going to talk about another thing that happened yesterday. I think you were talking about it. I caught it as I was in your show, in passing, making sure I gave you a view because, you always support the channel. So I got to support you, brother. All right. So Calvin Johnson going into the Pride of the Lions Ring of Honor this fall, Monday Night Football, September 30th. All right. First ballot Hall of Famer, NFL record, 1,964 yards in 2012, excuse me. But I have to ask you, what is your favorite Calvin Johnson memory?
Man, that's a tough one, man. It's I guess I'll say going up against, was it the three guys in the end zone for the Cincinnati Bengals and pulling it down? I mean, when that happened, everybody knew how good this cat was, man. He's just, I mentioned it in the show earlier today, this morning, that trying to describe him to Jen, someone who doesn't watch football, no idea who Calvin Johnson is. And anybody who's ever heard me talk about scouting or coaching gets this. I look for rarities, genetic freaks, because from there, as long as they have the right personality, you can train the rest of it over time. Calvin Johnson, he's got the right personality. He's not a distraction. And now you add in the fact he's a billion feet tall. He's got such mass, flexibility, bend, speed, the whole shebang bang. When he pulled off that move, jumping up over three guys in the end zone and ripping it down, and I guess you could throw another thing out there. Was it the Saints or the Cowboys, where they basically start treating him like a gunner on special teams, putting two guys on him before the ball's even snapped up at the line of scrimmage. The fact that he could just change the game in so many different ways, those are probably my memories. But the best one, the boss up move, is going up against three defenders and just totally making those guys feel like children trying to defend him in the end zone.
Yeah, definitely. I remember that Saints game. Yeah, he had a similar catch down in Dallas where he jumped over a couple of defenders down there in the end zone. As far as that's concerned. All right. Last topic, right quick. Before we kind of get into what the chat back into the chat. All right. So Frank Ragnow, ranked 8th best interior offensive lineman by ESPN by Jeremy Fowler. He was 10th last year going into the season. His highest rank ever on that list has been number 5. And they said the reason why he was 8th is because his play declined last year. Myself and a couple of people in the chat said that we didn't mind the ranking. We didn't talk about the reason. I don't think his play when he was on the field, he was injured a lot last year, but he was on the field. He was one of the top 5 interior offensive line. He was one of the top few centers in the league last year. So when he was actually on the field, we know he had the thing with the toe. It's never going to get fixed till he retires, pretty much, or he's going to have that issue probably for the rest of his life. So, do you agree with the ranking? So I said bossed up on the bossed up on the ranking, but balled on for the reason. So what do you think about him being ranked number 8 on interior offensive lineman by Jeremy Fowler and ESPN?
Ball on. In my opinion, I get him a homer. I'm a Lions guy, so I'm going to come out and say I think he's one of the top 2, maybe top 3 in the downside. I think a lot of it is because he's, like you said, he's played through injuries and he's played through them for years. But you also have to take ratings with a grain of salt. This could be the same guy that said, hey, St. Brown, when he was drafted, wasted draft pick by the Detroit Lions. I had him at whatever the guy said, a 7th round pick, or some other people said he should have been an undrafted free agent. Tom Brady, we all get his story. Somehow he can go there. Terrell Davis. I mean, the NFL is littered with guys that get bad ratings or whatever. They got him at number 8. The difference between number 8, number 3, number 2, number 12 is probably pretty minimal. I think he's personally a top 3, but I'm also a Lions fan.
All right. Well, thank you. Well, it's time to get back into the chat. Let's holler at these people, man. All right. In other ways, they came out with the list. The Lions are not made of lists, grit, and culture. Hey, I appreciate that, Doug. I appreciate that. All right. Frank the Tank said, Dan the man, boss up. Definitely in the building. All right. Dre Fox. Boss up. Okay, Frank the Tank back in the building said, boss up. DJ Reader definitely agree with Dan the man. Of course, we're gonna get some agreements with Dan the man on that one. The not the non-TD catch versus the Bears. That's one of somebody else's memory of Calvin Johnson. They were had that. That was the man, the myth, the legend is in the building. Broski Bears. Too bad you don't have Calvin Johnson. You have a slot receiver as your number 1. No legit other wide receivers, man. Right? Broski will come in and say what he gonna say, man. But Cal, I say this about Amon-Ra St. Brown. He be lighting y'all behinds up. So I'm just saying.
Kurt, real quick, go back one comment or to I think it was Moonscars. So you get bored today. Anybody watching or Kurt watching, why don't you do me a favor? Go watch that catch that wasn't a catch. Then I want you to go watch the NFC title game. I think it was Deebo Samuels in the end zone catches one and then drops it looking up at the crowd. Tell me the difference between those two. To me, there ain't one.
Okay. All right. Sarge was selling his tickets to Seattle for Monday night game. I think I will keep those tickets for the Monday night game now just because you see what's going to happen at that game. All right. Doug Michael Rosen says Calvin simply dominated DBs, his size and speed when he got the ball. He was like Jim. Yeah, he was just so, for a guy to be that big, to be that fast, and can jump that high. I mean, people compare him to what Randy Moss, but for me, I will always take Calvin Johnson over Randy Moss, and the reason being is because of he was mossing people before Randy Moss was, and he was a bigger physical specimen. Like I never saw Randy Moss run through a guy. I saw Calvin Johnson run through
Right.
guys, so I never got that. All right, all right, Fuzzy Bear. Hey, I like Broski Bear, man. He coming, he gave us some wild takes, man. That's my guy. Hey, Broski. Hey, I don't have a problem with Broski. That's my guy, man. All right, Fuzzy Bear. Who's your Frank Ragnow? They don't have a Frank Ragnow in Chicago. All right, my man, Big Lion Man. Now that's Aaron Latimer. If you didn't see it earlier, he was in the chat under his other name. But I like him being ranked low here. That might motivate him even more to finish his last year. Okay, I think for Frank, I think he's motivated. He's a self motivator anyway. He's one of those guys. He gets his own motor going. All right, Kurt, where do you get these guests from? Shaking, man. These guys are part of my Lions Nation United family, man. If y'all don't know, man, we work over there with Lions Nation United. We're over there with Mike Kimber all the time on his network and over there and his show for Lions Nation United, man. And we all some contributors over there, and we're gonna have some things coming to y'all, man. So stay tuned with that. All right, so Bo Boo. Good morning, bosses. Good morning, Bo Booth, man. 90% of the comment reporters are either prejudiced, regurgitated, or irrelevant to the realities. You can't eat headlines. Yeah, I just report the headlines, man. That's all we do.
Right.
It was what we do here. We give our take on them, man. Most time, if it's outlandish, man, we're gonna say it's balled on this show. All right, good morning. Oh man, my man Jeremy Ballrick, man, from Kneecap Biting with the Lower City Lions. What's going on? Smoking Jeremy B is in the building. All right, 329 yards are my favorite game from Megatron, and to be in the house of Ford Field live, man, the atmosphere was lit. Yeah, man. I watched that. Did I see Jim Everett mentioned? Yeah, Jim Everett. Somebody was in it. It was in the chat. Jim Everett something. I don't know who that guy was. Got to be a Rams fan. Hey, I welcome everybody, man. You if you come in, hey, I'll read your comment, man. I don't take all that stuff too seriously, man. Does it at the end of the day, does it really affect me or how I feel about my Lions? Absolutely not. All right, Broski Bear say Moonscar might need to change your name to Moon Cave. Have you seen the news? Okay, all right. I don't. Do you know what that's about? I don't know what that's about.
I do not.
I do not. All right. Broski Bear, what's up with Caleb and Rome not signing yet? Chicago and Minnesota both haven't signed their rookie contracts. Seems sus to everyone outside of those fan bases. Yeah, could be. Could be. All right, Broski, I have not something. Should I Google something? Okay, yeah. Well, I want to find out what the hell's going on anyway, man. With that, for real. All right. So Illini Meg G, Amon-Ra 3 catches, 21 yards, 8 catches, 77 yards in the game in Chicago last year. Bears have been slowing down Amon-Ra. More to come this season. Okay, we'll see. Let's slow down that all-pro selection. Okay, nothing but the smoke. Said you got to live to those guys. Got to give to them guys who do the rankings. They motivate these players. They do. All right. Kneecap Bitings, it's concerning. Not sure what the holdup is. I haven't heard about reasons why they haven't signed yet. Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that.
All right. Jim Everett was a Scott Mitchell West. Yeah, you come in here and you talk about what you have Jim Everett as your avatar. You want to come in here and trash us? Jim Everett was not the greatest quarterback for the LA Rams.
You remember, Kurt? You remember him going off on Jim Rome?
Yeah. Jim Everett was. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, huge cave in the Sea of Tranquility has been discovered, considering making them housing for astronauts. Okay. All right. My wife was ranked pretty low, but she still lets me know, makes me low to all
right.
Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, it is 8:30, man. I want you to say thank you to everyone that came into the day. Thank you to Dan for coming on the show. Tell them where they can find you and your content, my man.
Hey, come on over to Lions Talk Live every day of the week, 7 to roughly 8 a.m. Be a part of the Dude Crew. We try to warm you up and get you ready for the main event with Kurt Steele. So, hey, we're the pre-fight. He's the main event. Come on over. Let's get you ready for the show.
All right, definitely. Thanks for coming on, Dad. Hey, if you don't know how we get down here, we do 4 shows a week. We do Monday and Wednesday. It's recorded shows. It airs at 8 o'clock. So the time doesn't change. Either recorded or live is going to be at 8 a.m. right here on this channel. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do a live show, and I have another guest coming on, man. You're going to love my man who's going to be on Thursday, man. One of my great guys, man. And you can check me out on Lions Talk Live on Thursday before that. So definitely, hey, make sure you do me a quick favor. Go ahead and follow the show, the crew, over on their favorite social media platforms. I have everyone's social, and everything's in the link of the description of this video as well, man. Dan, my man, you can go over to his YouTube channel, Lions Talk Live, man. He does a great show, man. We appreciate you coming on, man. Hey, everybody, go ahead, finish getting ready, get to work, and whatever you're doing in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. Well, my man, Big Dan from Lions Talk Live, this is Kurt Steele, and I will holler at you real soon.